And joining us now to talk about that very thing is the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. He was named GM last June. He spent the previous 19 years with Nike. He was a three-time first-team All-Conference player at Montana State. He was an academic All-American. He is a member of the Montana State Hall of Fame. And the Western Conference Finals do get underway tomorrow. Dallas at Golden State, Game 1. We are joined by Nico Harrison. Nico, it's great to have you back. How are you?
Rome, I'm doing great. You always make me sound so good when you introduce me. I appreciate that.
Dude, you got a good resume. You've had a good basketball life. Listen, let me ask you first. I know you're focused on the conference finals, Nico, but if you could, can you take me back to Sunday for a moment? I'm kind of curious, what kind of emotions were you feeling before that game? And then what was it like once that game started to unfold the way it did?
I was a little bit, I felt we were prepared. I felt we did, all the work that we could do up to that point. But I've seen so many Game 7s. I've seen, some of the greatest players in Game 7 not have the games that they expected to have. So there was a little uneasiness about how we would actually perform. Even though we were prepared, how would we actually perform? And I was pleasantly surprised that we came out and really attacked them from the jump.
Nico Harrison joining us. I think that's really interesting what you said, that you've seen so many Game 7s, and even the very best of players, you're not sure how they might perform in that moment. And then you've got Luka, right? Luka was so dominant from the start of that game, hitting shots, talking junk, being a presence, really feeding off the energy of the moment. When you go into a Game 7 and you've got Luka with you, how much confidence does that give every player and really everybody in the organization?
No, and that's just it. The way Luka came out from the jump, it gave everybody on our team confidence, and I think they all fed off of that. And Luka knew by him coming out, attacking from the get-go, that everybody would just follow his lead, and that's why you want to have a superstar like Luka on your team, because you always have a chance with that.
All right, so you've been around great players for a long, long time, and you're around one right now. So let me ask you, is there like a similar personal quality or a characteristic that great players have that separate them from everybody else? Is there that one thing or things that's common for all of them?
I think there is. I think there's just something in them that when the chips are down, when nobody else can do it, they thrive in that moment, and they can do it, and they relish in the tough times.
We're talking to Nico Harrison. Nico, Phoenix got you guys pretty good in Game 5, and it seemed like they felt pretty good about themselves in the aftermath. Did your players and coaches take any mental notes about that? Like, I'm not saying you needed any additional motivation. That's not the case. But did you get a little extra juice from that?
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. We felt that we weren't being taken, very seriously, and our guys kind of, we've been the underdog, and we're fine with that. But I think our guys kind of, they added a little extra juice, just like you said, and that was just what we needed.
We are talking to Nico Harrison. So you're in your first season with the team. Jason Kidd is in his first season as the team's head coach. There are a lot of new faces at the start of the season, and then you had changes to the roster during the season. Like, you and I talked about this back in November, but I want to revisit this. How were you able to get everybody on the same page so quickly?
The biggest thing is Jason Kidd and his staff. I mean, they came in. They're extremely thorough. They set the tone from day one. Started practices with defense and showed everybody his defensive philosophy, held everybody accountable from day one, and it just continued. Now, it took a while for guys to catch on, and we have two really good individual defenders, and Finney, and also, I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, we have really good individuals, defenders. Reggie Bullock's the other one. And they're used to chasing the team's best player the whole time. And that's what they've been doing their whole career. But in our defensive scheme, they don't do that. Sometimes they have to get off the player. And so it took them a while to actually learn, his team defensive concept. So I think he just did a really good job from day one instilling that in the team. And although it took a while, eventually, probably around the middle of December, we started catching on.
We're talking to Nico Harrison. You know what? In terms of that, and also Jason Kidd, you've known him a long time, and he had some success as a head coach with the Nets and with the Bucks, but he said that he really improved during his time as an assistant with Frank Vogel. From where you're sitting, how much has he grown over the past year? In fact, how much has he grown as a coach over the years, and what do you make of the job that he's done this year specifically?
Oh, the job he's done is phenomenal, and he's definitely grown. I mean, the defensive scheme he's using is Frank Vogel scheme. I think the way he supported Frank in the first chair with having those superstars on his team, I think that was a remarkable job. And you know, Frank actually is an underrated coach. He doesn't get a lot of props for what he did in winning a championship in L.A. And Jason Kidd was instrumental in supporting him the whole way. So you know, that's what good players, good coaches, good executives do. They learn, you know, every step of the way, and I think he's learned every step of the way and done a phenomenal job this year.
And Nico, I've got to say, you made that huge move in February when you traded Kristaps Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. Dinwiddie had that huge Game 7 where he had 30. Bertans had 4 threes in Game 4. Obviously, you're looking to make any move you can to improve your team, but how gratifying was it to see those two guys step up in such prominent roles on such a big stage?
Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. One, for those two guys, and then also for us. You know, you hope when you make a trade like that it works out how it did, but you never really know. It's you know, you're doing as much work and research into it as you can, but you never know how a change of scenery is going to help somebody. But both those guys have been phenomenal for us. They've been absolutely phenomenal.
And Nico, one last time, I just want to revisit that Frank Vogel thing for a second because I'm here in Southern California. It seems like when the Lakers won that championship, people were so quick to say, yeah, well, it was a bubble championship, and Vogel got no credit whatsoever. I've always thought he was such an underappreciated, underrated head coach, so he gets no credit when they win it all, and then when things go awry and it goes south, then like it's all on him. It's all his fault. Can you speak to that just one more time? What do you make of him as a head coach, and does he get the credit he deserves?
No, he doesn't get the credit at all. But the thing, Jason and I talk about this all the time. The city of L.A. didn't get to experience the championship. They didn't get to come out for the playoffs. They didn't get to have a parade. So because they didn't get to experience it, it's almost like it didn't really happen. Although there is a banner up there, it's like it didn't really happen. And I think if the city had a chance to experience it, I think he would have got more credit. And he definitely deserves a lot of credit.
I appreciate you saying that. Nico Harrison joining me for a few more moments. So I know you're not going to take a victory lap for advancing to the conference finals. Like in your words, you want to be greedy, but in a really good way. At the same time, you know, you and some of the others are already getting ready for the draft combine. So how do you balance both planning for the future, but living in the moment at the same time?
The biggest thing is, you know, trust your teammates. You know, I believe in servant leadership, and we have an amazing staff. Michael Finley, he leads all the scouts. All of our scouts are down here at Chicago. I'm actually here too. I have a GM meeting later this afternoon, so I'll fly back to San Francisco tomorrow. So it's, you know, our scouts have seen all these players play all season long. So, you know, at this point, you just got to do a good job of trusting them. That what they see and what they do is going to help us prepare for it. You know, the worst thing you want to do is have me. You know, our scouts are flying around the world, seeing all these players play, and at the end of the day, I'm going to draft somebody that's not even, you know, someone that they like. So you just trust your teammate, trust your team, trust that they're gonna be prepared, and I think we'll be fine.
The draft lottery's coming up really quickly. You mentioned Michael Finley. He was such an explosive talent, such a great player. What's he like as an executive?
He's the best. He's super balanced. He knows the players. He knows the game, but he's just a very balanced person. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. No task is beneath him. No task is too hard for him. He's a great yin and yang, and I actually love working with him.
I like it. He is the GM of the Dallas Mavericks. He was named that last June. 19 years at Nike. 3-time first-team All-Conference player at Montana State. And, of course, you got the Western Conference Finals getting underway tomorrow. Dallas at Golden State. Nico Harrison, my guest. Nico, great to have you back on. Really appreciate it. Good luck in that one.
No, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm like I told you last time, anytime. I'm glad to be on the show with you.
Appreciate you, dude. Always good talking to you. Really do appreciate that very much. Nico Harrison, GM of the Mavericks, joining us.